The single dad quietly placed the expensive shopping bags into the woman's car before taking one careful step back. She smiled, pulled out a crisp stack of bills, and held them toward him. "Here's $1,000. You've earned it." Every employee nearby watched with envy. Instead of reaching for the money, the father smiled politely and said, "Thank you, ma'am, but I can't accept it." The woman froze. No one had ever refused her generosity before. The employees whispered among themselves, convinced the father was making a terrible mistake. His young son stood beside him, holding a small backpack and watching everything in silence. The woman frowned with curiosity instead of anger. "Do you know how much money this is?" she asked. The father nodded respectfully. "I do. But my son is learning that helping someone should never depend on the size of the reward." The CEO studied the father more carefully. His clothes were simple, but his confidence never changed. There was something strangely familiar about the way he spoke. Before leaving, she asked his name. The father answered politely, then wished her a safe day. The moment she heard his name, her smile disappeared. It was the exact name written inside an old notebook she had carried for years. She immediately opened her purse and pulled out the worn notebook. Inside was a faded page with only a first name and one handwritten sentence. "Find the man who saved your father's life." Her heartbeat quickened. She looked back at the father, comparing his face to a faded photograph tucked between the pages. The resemblance was impossible to ignore. The CEO gently asked if he remembered helping an elderly stranger many years earlier after a serious accident. The father thought quietly before answering. "I remember helping someone. He was frightened and alone. I stayed until help arrived, then went home. I never even learned his name." The CEO's eyes filled with tears. "That man was my father." The little boy looked up at his dad with surprise. He had never heard this story before. The CEO explained that her father had searched for years to thank the stranger who refused any reward before quietly disappearing. Before passing away, he had asked her to continue searching because he believed true kindness deserved gratitude, even if it came years later. The CEO tried once again to hand him the $1,000. The father smiled exactly as he had before. "Your father's life was never worth a price tag. I helped because someone needed help. If I accept money now, it changes the reason I did it." Everyone standing nearby became completely silent. Even the employees who had been whispering lowered their heads. Deeply moved, the CEO put the money away. "Then allow me to honor you another way," she said. She invited the father and his son to lunch, not as a wealthy executive meeting a stranger, but as the daughter of a man whose life had been changed forever. During the meal, she learned about the father's daily struggles, his long work hours, and the dreams he quietly carried for his son's future. A few days later, the CEO offered him a leadership position at her company. The father accepted only after one condition was agreed upon. Judge every employee by honesty, effort, and character, not by appearance or background. The CEO smiled and promised those words would become part of the company's values. Many employees later said that decision transformed the workplace into one where respect mattered more than titles. That evening, the little boy held his father's hand and asked, "Dad, why didn't you take the money?" The father looked at him with a gentle smile. "Because kindness is a gift, not a business." The boy nodded proudly, knowing he had learned something no amount of money could buy. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more emotional single dad stories.